What's going on, everybody? Broken Games HDR back at it again with another video. So the 2024 Game Awards went down last last night, excuse me, and it was fun. Shout out to Jack, Kiso, Blaze. I live streamed it with them. Shout out to all the viewers who watched it with us. It was fun. Usually I do it solo, but I was like, let me hang with the boys. So it was really fun last night. Now it's time for my review, my deeper thoughts, my post-game conference, if you will. And let me just say, it was a good show, and 2025 is looking exciting. To this year, 2024 was a down year for me, but usually when there's a down year in gaming for me, not that it was bad. I don't think this year was bad, but for the type of games that I like, it wasn't the best. And usually when there's a down year for me, I know that next year, that's when the hitters are coming. That's when the bangers for me are coming through. That's always the pattern. Down year, then yeah, that shit is on the way. And I got a bet with Jack, and I know Jack is trembling in his Uggs because Jack just seems to be the fat type of nigga that would wear Uggs. I got a bet with him that I beat 25 games next year. And listen, I'm not forcing anything. I'm not shoehorning any games, not playing anything that I don't actually like just to win this bet. This is just going to be all shit that I actually like. And listen, based on what I already knew was coming out in 2025 and what was announced at the Game Awards last night that's been confirmed for 2025, I know guaranteed 10 or 11 games now that are coming out in 2025 that I'm absolutely beating. Guaranteed. 11 so far. And we're not even in the year yet. And there's going to be a bunch more shit that get release dates in 2025. So all I need is like 14, 15 more games and bet one. So easy. It's, listen, I might have an all-time high. All right. I might put on a Randy Moss performance in 2025. So it's looking good. So I'm going to talk about the winners, the award winners, and talk about everything that was announced. First of all, let me just say, shout out to Jeff Keighley. This show was improved from prior years. The pacing, the speeches, just the presentation. I actually like the Muppets. The Muppets that were roasting him. They was hitting on some shit. They had some pretty precise, good jokes. It wasn't corny. It wasn't cheesy. It was shit that applied, and it made sense. So shout out to those Muppets because they was roasting that man for some shit that was actually accurate and applied, and it was funny. There wasn't a whole bunch of ads. Not that there was less ads, at least. The only thing that kind of ruined it was like all the best shit was like front loaded. And then at like the two hour mark, like after the 2 hour mark, then we started being inundated with all this weeaboo anime gotcha game dog shit. That's the only thing that kind of like ruined it. And the show is probably a little bit, the show is like, ends up being like 3 hours. This should probably be 2.5 hours. And yeah, I give the show like a B. I give it a strong B. Like all that gotcha shit. And listen, I understand a lot of those sell. A lot of people are interested in it, but relax a little bit on them. Relax a little bit. Yeah, I think that's the only thing that kind of like messed up the show and the pacing for me. So okay, what am I starting? Am I starting out with the winners or the announcements? Let's go through the winners first, I guess. Switch screens real quick. All right. I'm gonna go through the relevant winners. We don't care about best esports, nothing. Y'all don't matter. Content creator, you don't matter. Most anticipated game went to GTA 6. No surprise there. Best adaptation went to Fallout. I still haven't watched Fallout yet. I'm gonna get to it. I don't like the game, but I'm pretty sure I'll probably like the show. Best multiplayer game went to Helldivers 2. And it deserved it. It deserved it. Because regardless of what people think that, like, because there was some controversy or it, like, the popularity after 3 months trailed off a little bit, which happens with games as a service. Some people have this belief that like a games as a service, because it starts at like not saying Helldivers 2 was at like 2 million. Oh, if it hits 2 million peak, it's supposed to stay at 2 million peak. No, that's not fucking realistic. That's not what happens with games as a service. As long as you have a respectable, consistent player base, then it's fine. And this Helldivers 2 controlled the zeitgeist and penetrated like all over social media, many layers of social media for months on end. It became a meme and like controlled the conversation. So it deserved it. It absolutely deserved it. So shout out to them. And mind you, this is the game that niggas tried to argue with me wasn't a hit. Niggas need to learn the definition of a hit. Just because something is not as popular as it once was doesn't mean it's not a hit. It's like saying saying a song in the 80s isn't played anymore, that it wasn't a hit at the time. Can't believe the shit y'all be making me argue about. Be making me lose brain cells. Best sports racing games, EA Sports FC 25. That's a soccer game, right? Shout out to them, because EA had split from the FIFA brand and still winning awards. So shout out to them. Best sim strategy game, Frostpunk 2. Best family game, Astrobot. Cool. That's usually the Nintendo category, so they found a way to get into that and win what's usually the Nintendo category. Best fighting game, Tekken 8, well deserved. Best RPG, Metaphor ReFantazio. Okay, I'm not mad at that. I mean, I'm not mad at anything. Like I'm not mad at anything that wins anything. Like I'm not people that actually still or ever got upset at any game winning any award. Like, bro, relax. It's not that serious. Go get laid. Like Final Fantasy, everybody knows Final Fantasy 7 is it for me. That's my game of the year. But I'm not gonna get mad. I don't think Final Fantasy, it won like 1 or 2 awards. But I'm not mad if it didn't win anything. Get over it. Go get laid. Best action adventure game, Astrobot. Action adventure. I don't think I would actually give that to Astrobot, if I'm being honest. Best action adventure. When I think of Astrobot, action adventure doesn't necessarily come to mind. I'm surprised Wukong isn't in this category. Wukong to me is more of an action adventure game than a bunch of these. But okay. Best action game. See, they put it in just the action game category. Black Myth Wukong won that, and it deserves that. Best VR AR game, that went to Batman Arkham Shadow. And from what I hear, it's an amazing VR game. Also, Metro Awakening. It's a damn shame that Batman Arkham Shadow is not on PSVR. Some of the best VR games don't seem to be on PSVR. PlayStation got to figure that shit out. Like, y'all got to do whatever it takes to get that shit off of off of the Quest and also on your goddamn VR device. I don't know if they probably have some exclusivity deal with Meta and all that shit. So hold on, I'm turning off my heat. It's hot as shit in here. Okay. Best mobile game, Balatro. Best debut indie game, Balatro again. Best independent game, Balatro. Best community support, Baldur's Gate 3. Best ongoing game, Helldivers 2. I actually didn't think Helldivers 2 should have won ongoing game. Like I said, I'm not mad at anything, but I don't think it should have won that, just because I don't think that within the first year they supported the game that much. Of course they released the bonds and all that shit and some updates, but I don't think those updates were huge. I think that update that they just announced, if they would have announced that this year and it came out this year, I can understand that. But hey, okay. Games for impact or game. This is the games. This category is the games BG would never play. Except I actually did play Hellblade 2 and Tales of Kenzera, but this is usually comprised of games I never play. Neville won that. Innovation and Accessibility. Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown won that. I platinumed that game. Really, really like it. I don't nothing exactly stands out to me about that game about innovation and accessibility, unless they're talking about like the way you can customize your map and create markers and shit like that. Maybe that's what they're talking about. Best performance, Melina Juergens and Hellblade 2. I don't have any argument with this. I didn't end up beating Hellblade 2 because it was like Hellblade 2 was just not good to me. I love Hellblade 1, but if her performance in Hellblade 1 was anything like it is in Hellblade 2, then she deserves it. And it's not even that Hellblade 2 is bad. Hellblade 2, if you believe what I believe about sequels are supposed to be much better than the original, then I don't see how you don't see Hellblade 2 as some sort of failure. A sequel shouldn't be just like the original. It should be a jump, an improvement of the original, and I don't think Hellblade 2 is that. Best audio design, Hellblade 2 deserves that. Best score and music, the category I don't care about, Rebirth. Best art direction, Metaphor ReFantazio. Best, personally, I don't like that whole Persona Metaphor art direction. It's not bad, but I don't, I'm not crazy about it. But okay. Best narrative, Metaphor ReFantazio, and I do plan to play Metaphor ReFantazio, but I just put it in 100. That's the thing, bro. It's I don't know. Maybe some people can, but to me, it's very hard to play like a whole bunch of 100-hour RPGs back to back. Shout out to the people who can do it, but after I just put 100 hours in Veilguard, so I need something to cleanse my palate. I need at least a few games to cleanse my palate and to get away from some 100-hour game for a few months before I can go back to and invest another 100 hours in a damn RPG. So it's gonna be a while before I can get to Metaphor. Best game direction, Astrobot. And I said a lot of the Game Awards is tricky because usually what happens is if you clean up in the other categories, then it's likely then you're not going to get Game of the Year and they're going to give it to another game, right? But sometimes it can also work out that if you win Best Game Direction, it makes sense. A lot of it makes sense that you would also win Game of the Year, which Astrobot did. So it can go a bunch of different ways. This year, it went the way that Astrobot won a bunch of awards prior to Game of the Year, and then it won Game of the Year. Most people were a little bit surprised by it. We know Astrobot is an amazing game, but nobody necessarily had it on their bingo cards and would place a bet that Astrobot was going to win Game of the Year. I didn't bet that. I thought they were going to give it to Metaphor whole night. I was like, yeah, they're going to give that to Metaphor. That's what I thought, but I'm not mad at Metaphor. I'm not mad at Astrobot winning that. There's a lot of people who felt like Black Myth Wukong should have won. And I think a lot of people who think Black Myth, I wouldn't be mad at Black Myth Wukong, right? If it won. But a lot of people who think it got robbed, I think they're absolutely fucking casual gamers. I absolutely believe they're casual gamers because I think they're casual gamers who don't play a lot of games and think that Black Myth Wukong is just this one of one game and there's nothing like it. When there's a bunch of games that play like Black Myth Wukong. I think they are the people who honestly, like, remember that streamer? I don't even remember his name, but he was like, "Oh, Black Myth Wukong doesn't win Game of the Year. It's rigged." I'm like, bro, you're a streamer who pretty much only plays FPSs. You're not qualified for this conversation because you don't play most of the games that actually come out. It'd be those people that be thinking, "Oh, this is a robbery, bro." Trust me, if you played more games, you would realize this game is not that unique. I really like the game. Don't get me wrong. But when I first was talking about Black Myth on Weapon Wheel, I was like, this game is extremely familiar. When I pick up the game like an hour in, I was like, oh, this feels like I've played this before. I said that. So I only said to say that it's not this super unique and amazing thing. Like, it's a great. I think the sequel now. See, that's where I talk about sequels. I think the sequel now they laid the great foundation, and a lot of times the original game sets you up to win the game of the year with the sequel. I think the things they will add to Black Myth in a sequel, I think that will be a game of the year winner. But this, no, it's there's several areas where Black Myth was lacking, but the casuals wouldn't see that. They really see the very over the top action and the unga bunga, which I like unga bunga, but they see that and like, oh, game of the year, look what he's doing, and it's like, bro, there's plenty of games that fucking do this shit. So, yeah, they're just front running casuals that don't know no better. They don't know no better. They dip their toe in the space of these type of games once in a while, and their minds are blown because they typically don't experience stuff like that. And Erdtree didn't win anything. This is why I also said people were. I don't think it won one award it was nominated for. And I said that. I said I honestly don't think Erdtree was going to win anything. People were jumping out the window and losing their minds. Like, yes, it may be egregious that it was even nominated, but I don't think they put it in. I don't think they nominated it to give it awards. That's not what I think the purpose of them doing that was. And I honestly didn't think they were going to give it. They were going to make it game of the year. That wasn't going to happen. So congratulations to Astrobot. And listen, if I can get on my, I guess I'm going to call it a pony platform, because people like to claim that when you're just stating an observation and stating truth, you're being a pony. So fine, I'll be on my pony platform. This year on Weapon Wheel, one of the arguments that I've had was, and it's not even, it's funny because it's just truth. It's not like me saying something that's insane, but people always look at it like I'm talking crazy. I don't fucking get it. To me, I'm just stating an observation. I said PlayStation's showcases have been ass. And in me saying that, I don't know how people can also say I'm glazing them, but when I'm at the same time saying their showcases have been ass, their showcases have been ass, their communication is ass, their lack of roadmap is ass. All of that sucks. Their frequency and cadence of dropping first-party games is off. I've said all of that, but people don't hear that. But I also said that even though, for example, Xbox has had a way better conference and showcase, whatever you want to call it, for the last 3 years, they've been better than PlayStation's, hands down. Every single year that Xbox has a better showcase, PlayStation at the same time has a better year. Meaning, at the end of each year, when you look at the games that have been released, people look at the games PlayStation is affiliated with or released from first-party studios as better than the games that, for example, Xbox released. The Xbox games, a lot of the times, like 85% of the times, fall flat. So showcases are not indicative of somebody actually releasing better games or having a better year. That's just the fact of the matter. So I'm not saying that absolves them or excuses them for having bad years, for having bad showcases, because we want better showcases. But I'm saying the showcases don't actually define the performance, right? It's like in sports when you have the best roster. The best roster doesn't always end up in having the best record or winning every game. Because once again, Xbox had better showings, but who really had better years when you look at it? But you're being a pony, BG. Yeah, all right, cool. I'll be on the pony platform. All right. Let's go to everything announced at the Game Awards. This Ninja Gaiden game, that looked cool. By the way, I made a members only video. That's out. You could be any tier of YouTube member. and I made my top 5 games from the Game Awards 2024. Top 5 game announcements from the Game Awards. So if you want to check that video out, you got to be a member. And I think the lowest tier is like $2. So yeah, go support if you want. So yeah, I think this is the best show that Jeff Keighley has put together because of the type of announcements they got. It was really good announcements, like some quality shit. I was like, wow, this is it. The first 2 hours, yeah, it was front loaded, but it was. I was surprised. You know, I think a lot of these publishers are starting to respect the Game Awards much more because of the viewership and the numbers, and realizing that this is a place we actually do want to premiere, show our games off, and get, because a lot of people watch and a lot of people get excited for it. So Ninja Gaiden, that game looked good. Not much to say about it. When was the last time we got a Ninja Gaiden game? A long time ago, right? But cool, look good. One move away is for the Unpacking fans. Okay, not much to say about that. I'm gonna keep going. Slay the Spire 2. I don't even remember seeing this. Slay the Spire 2. Yeah, I must have took a bathroom break on this. Okay, cool. Dave the Diver. Don't care about Dave the Diver. Thick as Thieves looks lame. Stealth action multiplayer game. Isn't this that kind of like heist looking game? Let's see. And it's got that art. This art style needs to die. I'm sorry. There's a reason why developers use this art style. Probably because it's very, I don't know, accessible, easy. It just works with whatever type of game you're making. It's probably not too demanding or some shit. There's a reason why I don't even know exactly what this art style is officially called. But I know it when I see it. This almost like clay, it's like the combination between clay and cell shaded almost. I don't know what the official name of this art style is, but it's overused. Remember back in the day, this is one thing I do complain about, like, which I do admit was better back in the day, because, you know, I'm not one of those people who think that everything was better back in the day. More games had a very unique art style where nothing looked like something else. Now it's just this ubiquitousness about a whole bunch of games. And I hate it. It's like a whole bunch of developers are dipping in the same pool of like visuals and art styles instead of making their game looking distinguished from the rest of them. I hate it. It sucks. And yeah, this looks like some generic ass bullshit multiplayer game. Shadow Labyrinth. I don't even remember what the fuck this is. Yeah, I don't care. Steel Paws, mobile game. Nope. Kiora, some picks. Nope. Don't care. Rematch is the next game from. What? I didn't realize this was from Slow Clap. They went from making Sifu to making a soccer game? What? Really? That's an interesting direction to go in. That is not a direction I would have bet. And like, especially, I thought they would have stayed in the combat and martial arts lane, especially since like how successful Sifu was. Sifu was insanely successful, and y'all go and make a soccer game, which seems to be like very different than the other soccer games out there. I mean, soccer games sell a lot, so I'm not mad at it. It'll probably be successful. Like, soccer is the most, or football is the most popular sport in the world. So, Solasta 2, don't care. Witcher 4. So people know I hated Witcher 3. Hated it. I think the game sucks. Mainly because I think the combat sucks. I fucking hated the combat in that game. I tried and tried and tried many times to play that game, go back to it. People say give it another try. I gave this game so many fucking tries. Fucking hated it. I think it sucks. I think it's one of the most overrated games ever. But I'm willing to give The Witcher 4 a try. Because I think that the combat was the only thing holding me back from enjoying Witcher 3. I think everything else in the game was very well done. And being that it's been so long from Witcher 3 and they're moving on to a new engine, I think that engine might have had something to do with like the combat being the way it was. I think it's very possible that I hate Witcher 3 and also enjoy Witcher 4 because I expect them to come with some improvements and some changes to how the game plays a little bit. And those minor tweaks and changes may result in me liking the game. So I'm curious about Witcher 4. I'm very curious to see how the gameplay is. Because what did Witcher 3 come out? 2011? So, or something like that. So yeah, I expect a huge I just expect the game to be different and better. So I'm curious. I'm extremely curious about Witcher 4. Elden Ring, Night Rain. Bro, I'm tired. I'm sorry. I'm tired. That's the only, I'm fatigued. I'm tired. I'm worn out. I do not want to go back into Elden Ring's world. I do not want to go into any world from Software right now. I'm one of the biggest Souls fans out there. I've beaten damn near every Souls game. Almost every Souls game. Not only talking about the ones from Software, I'm talking about the ones everybody's made. But I've said this before. When I beat Elden Ring, I felt like, I felt like the game was just too long in the tooth. It was just too goddamn long. Listen, you could really like something and enjoy it, but if it goes on too long, you're like, bro, enough is enough. Like, some people, the second time when in Elden Ring, when the map expands and you didn't know it was about to expand, some people were like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was like, oh my fucking God, it won't end. It won't end. I'm sorry. I prefer my Souls games I think Souls games are better linear and around 40 hours. I do not want to play a 100-hour Souls game. I do not. And then after Elden Ring, I went and played Shadow of the Erdtree and put another 50 hours in that. And even by the end of that, I was like, bro, I'm tired. It's played out now. That's how I feel. Oh, and yes, shout out to From Software for using the same assets, same sound assets, same art assets from circa 2020, from circa 2010. They're getting away with some shit because they're the industry darling, especially among gamers. They're getting away with some shit that gamers kill other developers for doing. Motherfuckers was getting on developers for reusing animations and assets from their previous game that came out 4 years ago. From Software has been using assets, sound, art, animation assets, everything assets from 2010. And nobody bats an eye. And okay, sure, all right. They can get away with it. Look, cool. Like I said, I'm a From Software fan. I'm a Souls fan, but like I think they should be held accountable for some of the things they do, just like anybody else. They have flaws. They do things. It's like, bro. And there are new animations. Don't get me wrong. There's clearly new animations in this Night Rain gameplay. But bro, I guess this is more of a focus on co-op. I'm good. I'm not gonna say it's guaranteed I don't play this, but as of right now, I have no intention of playing this shit. None whatsoever. Just looking at this gameplay makes me physically sick. It makes me physically ill. Like I'm telling you, when I hit a certain hour mark in Elden Ring, I physically started to get ill. I was just like, man, I am tired of looking at this fucking game. I'm sick of looking at this shit. I'm moving on. Rebirth is headed to PC. Good. I'm probably gonna buy it on PC again. But listen, I love Rebirth also. I put like in my PlayStation recap, it said like I have 500 hours in it. That's not accurate. It's probably more like 250 to 300 hours. Some of that is idle time. I don't know where they got the rest of that 200 hours from. But even Rebirth, I love the game. I will play it on PC, but probably not for the next 365 days. I'll probably I feel like playing Rebirth again on PC with the best visuals in 2026. Say like shorter games, bring back shorter games, bring back linear games, please. And I understand these are RPGs, but still. Like I'm thinking about Dragon Quest. What the fuck are we up? Dragon Quest. What are we up to? 13? 12? No, 13? I don't know. Whatever Dragon Quest we're up to that's about to be next, I'm excited for it, but I'm like, bro, that shit about to be 100 hours, my nigga. Bring back shorter games. Catley, yeah, we don't care. Project Robot is the next game from Eco creator Fumito Ueda. This game looked very much like Shadow of Colossus when he was climbing a robot. It seemed like Shadow of Colossus with mechs, I guess. So I'm curious about this. I'm curious. I'll say that. Outer Worlds 2, love it. One of my most anticipated games. I loved Outer Worlds 1. It's Outer Worlds 2 and Fallout proves that you can like games that are two games can be very similar and you could really like one and hate the other. I hate Fallout. I think Fallout sucks. But I love Outer Worlds. Love the first Outer Worlds. So I'm very excited about Outer Worlds 2 to look to see the improvements and the upgrades they've made. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Looks great. Split Fiction. This is the next game from Joseph Fares and Hazelight Studios. Joseph Fares became a rock star in the industry where people just look forward to his games. He's the king of the co-op game. He's cornered that market. You know, he's the king of that. I still have not beaten one game by Joseph Fares. I never beat It Takes Two. I never beat that prison game. I never beat any of them. I don't typically co-op games typically turn me away. I don't really like playing games with other people unless it's a multiplayer competitive game. I don't want to. The idea of playing alongside somebody just doesn't excite me like that. When I think of playing with somebody, there are some exceptions, right? But when I think of multiplayer, I want to be shooting somebody else in the face. I don't want to be helping somebody. You know, so that's why co-op shooters, I'm like, the game looks amazing, but it just doesn't, the concept doesn't excite me like that. The whole playing with somebody, it's like, I don't know. That's just not, it just feels like playing co-op games sometimes feels like work to me. Depending on the co-op game and depending on the level of like dependency you have with the other players, it just feels like work. All that collaboration and like when I'm playing a game, like I don't want to speak to nobody. Also, I think it is when I'm playing through a campaign, like I don't want to be speaking to nobody. I think that's what like turns me off. It just all sounds like work and a chore. Steel Hunters. This game looked good to me. This says it's Apex meets Mechs from World of Tanks. This shit reminded me of like Titanfall a bit. And when I first saw Wargaming, because they typically make games, I'm like, But this looked good. I don't know if it's one of those situations where it looks really fun and good, but then you play it and it's ass, because that's what my mind is telling me, because I guess I'm just a cynic of everything. But this shit looked fire. And yeah, everybody knows I got a weak spot for mechs and robots and shooting big machines. Um, and that whole bit, that's my shit. Yeah, that's my shit. So I got a weak spot for it. The Long Dark 2, Black Frost. I don't even remember this. Oh no, yeah, it's not for me. Borderlands 4, I'm excited about it. Borderlands 3 didn't really do it for me. I like Borderlands 1, loved Borderlands 2. That's one of my favorite games of all time. I beat in Tiny Tina's Wonderland. Really enjoyed that. So I'm looking to get back into the Borderlands universe since 3 didn't really do it for me. From some of the gameplay that we got and what looks to be some of the powers and the classes, yeah, I'm ready for Borderlands 4. One of my anticipated games for 2025 as well. So yeah, it's looking fire. Clive is going to be in Tekken 8. People have been asking for Tifa. They gave you Clive. My condolences. Virtua Fighter coming back from the makers of Like a Dragon. Cool for them. Also, this game called Project Century. I don't like when they announce games before you even have a title for it, like Project. I don't know. I feel like it's a bad omen, but it'll probably come out. I don't like the whole Yakuza style games. I stay away from all of them. I don't like them. Not my shit. Hope y'all enjoy though. Hope y'all have fun. Turok is back. Turok Origins. But it's in third person. Turok is originally a first person shooter. I see, here's the thing, right? Even though y'all know I am a third person connoisseur and merchant, and I think most things are better in third person. Even I have my exceptions where I think this might end up being better in third person, but seeing it in third person is a little bit weird to me and jarring. This is one of the ones that I felt like maybe y'all could have kept that in first person. I think this could have been the ones y'all kept in first person, maybe. Because I don't know, something about it being in third person reminds me of one of these other generic games for some reason. But we'll see. Warframe, yeah. Pal World. I thought Nintendo was gonna get up on stage right at the award show and start cursing out Pocket Pal and shit. Onimusha's back, yes sir. So I bought the Onimusha. So I loved Onimusha since a kid, right? And when they released that remaster, like in 2020, 2019, sometime around that, I was like, oh, this is a sign. They're bringing back Onimusha. And then nothing happened. And I was like, oh, fuck, they got my money, even though I did beat the game over again. I was like, damn, they got me. They just took my money. There's not even a new game coming. There is a new game coming. They took a while to announce it, 2026. Very happy, very excited. Love Onimusha. It's one of those core memories as a kid. Shout out to Capcom. Shout out to the Cap gods. But we need Dino Crisis still. If y'all brought back Onimusha, and there's a Okami sequel, which we're going to get to, right? That's still by Capcom, right? But if y'all also finally bring back Dino Crisis, it concretely secures a place in heaven for Capcom. That's the last task they have to accomplish on Earth, and then they're guaranteed a space in heaven. That's all you got to do. Just bring back Dino Crisis as well. First Berserker Kazan, another game I'm interested in. This is like a Souls dark fantasy RPG. I think it's like Souls. I plan to play this. Looks decent. Dying Like the Beast, very excited for that. Looks amazing. I think this is, to me, the best thing that was shown. That gameplay just looks so fucking crispy and nice, bro. Like listen. Dying Light 2, I felt like they had sequelitis, where I feel like Dying Light 1 was better. and Dying Light 2 was a little bit too ambitious. It had some bugs, and the scale and scope of the game, I feel like they went a little bit overboard. Dying Light the Beast seems to be a return to form, more like 1 than 2, and I am very excited about it. It's even the protagonist, Kyle Crane, from 1. So I'm extremely excited about this. I think this is probably, yeah, my favorite showing from last night. Can't wait. Shout out to Techland. Stage Fright, yeah, don't really care. Game of Thrones game, yeah, whatever. Last of Us. So I'm gonna be doing another playthrough for, on my channel for Last of Us Part 2. They gotta stop calling shit remastered, right? Because it's not fucking remastered, bro. This is why people be killing y'all sometimes. Just call it Last of Us Part 2 and it's coming to PC. It doesn't matter if Nix's maybe did some things to clean the game up. It gives the wrong expectation. It sets the wrong precedent. It gives the wrong impression that y'all are like spending some like unnecessary investments in y'all games, and y'all are remastering everything when that's not really the case. Because Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is not really remastered. Y'all are just using this term incorrectly. It's really just Last of Us 2 on PC. Like, why do y'all feel the need to call everything... certain things are remastered, certain things are remade. The goddamn term is just being bastardized and abused, and I don't know why they do that. But I will be doing another playthrough on it, on this, right, when it comes to PC. Because when I did an original playthrough, one now was at like 30 frames. I don't think we had a 60 frames option at that time when the game originally came out in 2020. Two, my internet fucking sucked. So the quality of that playthrough when I originally did it in 2020 was really bad. My internet was cutting out. It was not the cleanest. Now, since 2020, I had moved out of that place. I got Verizon. And of course the PC version is going to look exquisite. It's going to look amazing. So yeah, so I deleted that playthrough because, sometimes I delete videos when it's just not up to snuff, not up to my quality standards. So I'm going to do another playthrough, and this one is going to look much better. All right. So I look forward to replaying it. Sonic Team Racing Cross Worlds coming soon. I'm excited about this. I'm a Sonic hater. I don't like the Sonic games, but the Sonic racing games are bangers. They're really good. I like them. I like my kart racers, Sonic racing. Listen, I'm here for that. I'm down for that. That is a day one as well. 2025 looking good, man. Mafia Old Country. Excited. Yeah. Usually when it comes to these games, right? Most games have the problem of the gameplay is great, but the writing and the story is average or lacking. The whole Mafia franchise has been the opposite. The writing and the story is fucking superb, and the gameplay is middling at best. And if they just fix the gunplay and the gameplay loop and the missions and the variety, they're out of here. They are out of here, bro. So I hope they focused in on that. I hope they hired somebody to fix just the gameplay mechanics. And they're out of here, bro. They're out of here. Mafia could be like a Game of the Year contender if they just fix that, because that's what lacks the most. Their storytelling, they be killing that shit. They be bodying that shit. So I'm praying that they just fix that, bro. That's the only thing I'm hoping. Please fix it. Dispatch, yeah, I don't care. Okami sequel. So I've actually I played like a demo some time ago. I've never actually played that much of a Okami game, but I'm open to it. Very open to play it. I want to see what a modern day Okami plays like. I'm definitely interested. I'm interested. And lastly, Um, the Naughty Dog game, which I didn't expect. There were rumors about them showing up at the Game Awards. I didn't expect it. This game is probably coming out 2026, though. It's definitely not a 2025 game. Um, might be pushed to 2027. I wouldn't doubt that. Uh, I just thought it was too soon for them because all the kind of turbulence they've had at the studio, and you could sometimes like the way they talk. It seems like you can never really tell the timeline of how long they've been working on certain games. So I thought like the next time we even heard from them, forget releasing a game. I thought the next time we would even hear from them might be 2026. But their new game is called Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, and it has this retro futuristic aesthetic. It's about like a bounty hunter. There's some details on Twitter. I don't really have them in front of me. She's a bounty hunter, and she goes to this planet that's hasn't been inhabitable for a long time or some shit, and then runs into trouble. And it's they're still keeping their deep narrative focus. Let me see. Return to Naughty Dog roots in action adventure. Story is set in alternate universe where space travel has significantly advanced by 1986. Jordan Munn, played by Tati Gabriel. That's the black girl that was in the Uncharted movie. She was one of the villains. She's a dangerous bounty hunter who ends up stranded on Semperia, a distant planet whose communication with the outside universe went dark hundreds of years ago. It'll be an emotion, character-driven, epic journey, as all Naughty Dog games are, with the deepest gameplay in Naughty Dog's history, which is what I care about the most. Story is amazing to me, but of course, gameplay is very important. And yeah, of course, they said taking some inspiration from classic anime like Akira and Cowboy Bebop and shit like that. So I've said a while ago, and I guess some people didn't understand or didn't believe me. A studio that I like just announcing a game doesn't get me excited for it, regardless of their reputation and their pedigree. I believe whatever Naughty Dog puts out anytime will be a quality game. But I don't think that also means that in perpetuity, whenever Naughty Dog puts out a game, it'll be my type of game. I think Naughty Dog are absolutely the type of developers that are capable of doing something so different that it could possibly not be the type of game that I like. So I'm not looking at this game like it didn't shoot to the top of my highly anticipated games list. I feel pretty indifferent right now about this game because I don't know anything about it really. I need to see gameplay. Now, from the trailer, I'm just taking some guesses from the trailer. We know it has the sci-fi, futuristic whole thing. And just based on, you're a bounty hunter, it's going to be in space. You're going to be taking down what looks like some type of bio-organic robot. And I think she had a gun, and there was a lot of product placement in this as well, which was interesting. But the fact that in the trailer, what they showed off was this lightsaber saw. And that's what she was attacking with, implies that there's going to be an extra focus on combat. I mean, an extra focus on melee combat specifically, because but I think in this trailer, does she have a gun? Does she have there had to be a fucking gun somewhere in here. No, that's not a gun in her back. Wait. That's a gun. Okay, there it goes. She does have a gun. Cool. Because that was my thing. I'm like, listen, what if this is a game that kind of focuses more on melee and not really on gunplay? I like a combination of both. So all I'm saying is, listen, I'm very interested and curious to see what the game is like. I don't doubt Naughty Dog to put out a quality project, but name alone just doesn't do it for me. You know, I'm not just, it just doesn't do it for me. Oh my God, Naughty Dog is releasing. Okay, if I know nothing about it, virtually nothing about it, or at least I don't know the most important thing to me, which is combat and how it plays. No, I'm not going to get excited yet. Because to put it succinctly, I mean, like if Naughty Dog, for example, makes a puzzle game, I think Naughty Dog is going to put out a quality puzzle game. But what if I don't give a fuck about playing a puzzle game? If Naughty Dog puts out one of those games that Jack likes, an emotional, well, technically you could say Last of Us is an emotional lesbian simulator, but the Life is Strange type lesbian emotional simulator where nobody is getting brutally murdered, I wouldn't be into it. I need the brutal murder part of the lesbian simulator to enjoy it. I'm sorry. So that's the part of it for me that I need. That's very important. That's the huge factor in it for me. So I got it. And Naughty Dog, they can be very artsy and shit like that. And so that's why it's like, for me, just studio name alone isn't enough. Genre and gameplay loop is more important to me than just a studio name. But cool. Good show. I think that's everything. I don't think I missed anything. 50-minute review. Hope it helps get y'all through the Friday. If you're at work or whatever the fuck you're doing. Oh yeah, there was this Game Changers award from this bald guy who helped laid off developers find work. I guess. Shout out to him, I guess. Just checking. Yeah, Split Fiction, talked about that. I don't think I'm missing anything that happened last night. Aaron Paul and Laura Bailey. Listen, both of them are married people, but I would have no idea knowing that from how they were acting up there. They were undressing each other and literally fucking in front of us on stage with clothes on. They were fucking with clothes on. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. Oh yeah, it was nasty. It was nasty. If I'm her husband, yo, what's up? Yo, what's up? You good? You okay? What was that? Because listen, if I didn't know any better, I would think they fucking. I would absolutely think they have fucked a couple of times. Like, matter of fact, 10 minutes before they came out, they just did that shit. They was acting nasty up there. They was acting nuts. Like, yo, tuck the horny away. Please control your horny, because it was ever present on that stage. It was front and center on that stage the way I was acting horny. I muted all the performances, copyright matches, and all that shit. I don't care about all that musical performance. They brought out Harrison Ford. Bro, let Harrison Ford rest. That man is like 98. I can't believe he's even in the next Marvel movie. Like, bro, let that man rest. Let him go home. The man couldn't even keep up with the teleprompter. He looked tired. He looked like his bedtime was 5 hours ago. Please like Harrison Ford is a legend. Respect. Let that man rest. They got to let our legends rest in the last part of their life. Dragging these dudes out to shows. Like, man, what is this man? This man is too good to be at this show. He is. Let these dudes rest, man. So yeah, I think that's it. I think I've wrapped up everything comprehensively. Shout out to everybody, all the viewers. Hit that like button, hit the notification bell. Check out the Patreon. Like I said, I've been doing this Patreon show weekly on the $10 tier. Give y'all a little bit of extra content. Just be talking shit about current shit that's going on. I uploaded like I said, members only video. I'm going to see if I can continue doing members only content. Of course, this is a lot of content I got to make to spread across these different platforms. There's one thing I still want to do. I don't know if I'm ever going to do it. I've told the Discord this. I want to do like a one-on-one show with somebody, just me and somebody else. But I don't, I just don't know who I want to do it with, and I don't see anybody I really want to, do it with. So it would be like similar to the podcast, except with just one other person, not 5-6 people. And it would be also during the middle of the week to give y'all some extra content. But don't really have anybody I want to do it with. And I don't want it to be anybody from the podcast because you already get that from the podcast. It would have to be somebody different. But I'm rambling at this point. All right, y'all. Hit the like button. Let me know what y'all thought about the show. Comment, all that good shit. Oh, and of course, the grifters. You had grifters complaining about, oh, Siri looks... bro, Siri looks exactly like she fucking does in Witcher 3, slightly older, but see, this is how you know it's completely disingenuous, because nobody in their right minds actually thinks like Siri in Witcher 4 based on that trailer looks ugly. Ugly where? And I'm not somebody who cares about that shit, bro. I don't give a fuck what a protagonist really looks like. That's not like, go get fucking laid. You're a loser. You're a dork. Oh my God, they're bald. They're ugly. Who cares, bro? It's a video game. It's a game. It's a game. It's made for playing, not for getting your dick hard over a animated character. But I can also say that in other cases where they complain about it, that yeah, the character's ugly. I may not care, but yeah, the character is ugly. There's no way that you can look at The Witcher 4 and actually use that grift. This is like super grift. This is super grifting. To look at this and be like, oh, they purposely made her ugly, bro. This looks like the same character from Witcher 3. The fuck are you talking about? And then I looked at the calendar and I'm like, bro, it's only December 13th. So the rent can't be due, because that's what I believe when it comes to all of these dudes who be complaining about this DEI or they're uglifying women in games. I believe y'all rent is due. And I truly believe they're either retracted, the other word I can't say, they're either retracted or they're solely doing this to pay their bills. And I think a lot of them are doing this just to pay their bills. They found something that's financially beneficial for them, and they continue to make the same video over and over again about, oh, it's woke, anti-woke videos and all that shit. Bro, what are we talking about here? This is overly grifting. Like, you how many bills do you got? It's not even like the end of the month. Do you owe the mob money? Because that's the only explanation. You have to be that desperate to call this character ugly by any means. Like, in what society or what convention or standards is this ugly? Like, listen, white women are not my thing, respect. But I don't think in any capacity, by any standards of society, would they consider this ugly. But okay. And then the whole, listen, with Naughty Dog, and they're like, oh, they made her, this bald, unattractive woman. I'm like, bro, who the fuck cares? It's the loud minority that are hating on Naughty Dog games. That's what I believe. None of them are actually going to have an impact. Cry. Y'all can continue to cry. I want Naughty Dog, like I said, I feel indifferent about this game so far, but I want Naughty Dog to continue to make the games they want to make. And you, the minority of you losers and virgins and incels, I want y'all to keep crying about it. Go get fucking laid. All right, I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.